Hi, boys and girls. It is time for math again. Today's lesson is called Unit 8, Module 2, Session 2. It's called the Change Box Part 1. There is a home connection that goes along with this lesson, and I tried to put things in lots of places. So the home connection is linked to the map. If you click, you can get to it. The home connection is also in the Schoology Math folder, and it's also on the Math PowerPoint. So you pick where you want to find it, and we will talk about that at the end of our lesson today. So we've been talking about patterns. We talked about the picnic basket last time. Today we're going to talk about the change box. So just to review, doubling was the pattern of the picnic basket last time. So if we were still doing doubling, if we put in 6 cookies and we doubled it, how many would come out? If you put in 6 cookies, 12 would come out. So this is the doubles fact. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Okay? What about, let's do butterflies. If there were 4 butterflies that you put in and it doubled, what would come out? So think 4 plus 4. It would be the doubles fact. 4 plus 4 equals, say it out loud or in your head, 8 butterflies. If you put 4 in, 8 comes out. That is doubled. Okay, I think this is the last practice one. These are trucks, so like toy trucks. So if you put 10 trucks in and it doubles, that would be 10 plus 10. 10 plus 10 equals 20 trucks. Okay. Now, last time we talked about the picnic basket. The picnic basket was kind of like magical and it doubled everything. This time, we're going to look at this kind of crazy looking machine and we're going to call it a function machine. And this function machine does lots of different things. We have to figure out what is happening in there. So a number is going to go in here and a different number is going to come out. And we're going to think, what is happening to this number? And we're going to find the pattern. All right. So there are cards that I linked right here, and they're also in the folder. We would have played a game with these cards at school, but it's a little complicated and confusing, and we're not going to worry about it, but they are linked in case you want to see them, but there are some dot cards. I have made kind of my own because I don't have a printer. So I made my own dot cards that I'm going to show you today. So just so you know, that's there. So if you put in 3 dots, so I'll show you mine. If I have 3 dots and we put it in the machine, apparently 5 dots comes out. Okay, so 3 go in, 5 come out. So what is happening? Are we adding numbers? Are we subtracting numbers? We're not doubling. If we were doubling, that would be 3 plus 3 equals 6. But 5 is coming out, not 6. So I want you thinking, what's happening there? Let's try another example. Okay, if we put in 4, okay, if we put 4 dots in, 6 would come out. So there's a 4 here. Here, I'll write it. So if 4 goes in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those aren't my best dots, but I think you get the idea. So think about what's happening there. Again, it's not doubling. This is going to be a different pattern. So let's go on. So here is our chart. This is just like our picnic basket chart, and it helps us kind of find our pattern. So when we have our 3, what do we need to do to get 5? 3 plus, it's getting bigger, so we know it's plus. How many do we have to add to equal 5? Well, yell it out, think it in your brain. 3 plus 2, so we added 2. Well, let's see what happens on the next one. 4. Now, again, it's getting bigger, so we're adding a number, and we end up with 6. 4, so you could count up, 5, 6. How many did I just add? 2. So right now we only have 2 examples, but what is the pattern so far? When it goes in the function machine, it looks like we're adding 2 every time. Let's see. So you can make cards at home kind of like I did, or you can just kind of say numbers. You can kind of do this in your head, but try some different numbers and think, okay, if this function machine adds 2, what would happen if I put this number in? Okay, so try some examples. So the rule is, we call it the rule is every time you put a number in, you add 2. So if I put 5 in the machine, what would come out? I would have to add 2. 5 plus 2, that would give me 7. Okay. What if I put 6 in? If I put 6 in the machine, the rule is to add 2. So what would come out? 8 would come out. Okay, now this would be a time where if you want to try some of these, you can pause the video and try some on your own. You could write sentences like 5 plus 2 equals 7. Okay, or you can just say it out loud. 5 goes in, 7 comes out. Okay. Now this is kind of a spot where we could write other numbers. Why don't we do that actually? So we did the number 5. If 5 goes in, we know 7 comes out. What about 6? We just did that one together too. If 6 goes in, we add 2 and 8 comes out. What if we put 7 in? What would happen if you put 7 in? What would come out? You need to add 2. That would be 9. If you put 8 in, what would come out? 8. Remember, add 2. 8 plus 2, that would be 10. All right, we'll stop there, but you guys can kind of get the idea. You could make your own chart like this, whatever you want to do to kind of practice some of those. All right, now, what if we kind of go backwards and we change things to the reverse? So if I put 5 in, you can see the 5 here. If I put 5 in, 3 comes out. Now, something's different about that pattern or that rule. What's happening? If I put 5 in and 3 comes out, the number is getting smaller. So think about what that means. What is the rule? So the rule is it's getting smaller by how many? 5. I take away 1, take away 2, and that leaves me 3. So I am taking away 2. That means subtraction. So we are subtracting now. So if we look at our chart here, if we put 5 in, 3 comes out. We took away 2. If we put 6 in, you would get 4. Take away 2. If we put 7 in, so I think it's kind of easier just to use your fingers for this. If I have 7 and I need to take away 2, 1, 2, what am I left with? 5. If I put 8 in the machine and I take away 2, 1, 2, what am I left with? 5 and 1 more, that's 6. Okay, let's do one more practice. If I put 9 in the machine, the rule is to take away 2, 1, 2. What am I left with? 7. All right, good job. So what I want you to notice is that the pattern is different here. In the picnic basket, that was basically a function machine like this, but that one doubled it. These examples are different. You could add 2, you could subtract 2. Okay, there, you have to kind of see what's happening before you figure out what the pattern is. All right, good job. So the home connection, you can find it on this PowerPoint. You can find it in the Math Schoology folder, or it's linked to the remote learning map. Let's check it out. There are some word problems here. So again, if you don't have a printer, you can just write these on a piece of paper. Okay, so they have an example at the top. It says a story problem gives you some facts and asks a question. For each problem on this page, underline the facts, put a box around the question, solve the problem and show your work, write the answer on the line. So underlining the facts and putting a box around the question, if you don't print this out, you can just kind of think about which ones are the facts and what's the question. So this example says there were 10 army ants. 3 went out to get some food. Those are things that we know are facts, so we underline them. How many ants were left? This is the question. It's important to know what your question is. So the way that they did this is they wrote a number sentence. There were 10 army ants. 3 went to get some food, so they did 10 minus 3 equals 7. How many ants were left? There were 7 ants left. So this is a good way to do it. If you don't want to write a number sentence, you could draw a picture, or you could get out cubes, popsicle sticks, whatever you want to build it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read each question. So if you need to hear them being read, you can listen and pause it and then work on it. Okay? So, number 1, 6 ants are working hard. Some more come to help. Now there are 13 ants. How many ants came to help? So think about the facts, think about the question, show your work, write your answer. Number 2, there are 7 ants at the top of the tunnel. There are 4 ants in the middle chamber. There are 5 ants in the lower chamber. How many ants in all? So show your work. How many ants in all? Number 3, there are 6 ants. Each ant has 3 seeds. How many seeds in all? Okay, and then on the second page, number 4, this one's not about ants, it's a little different. James had 17 baseball cards. He gave 9 of them to Andre. Who has more baseball cards now, James or Andre? How many more? So this one's a little bit more complicated because you need to do a couple things to find your answer. James had 17 baseball cards. He gave 9 of them to Andre. So we need to figure out, well, okay, after he gives 9 of them to Andre, how many does Andre have? How many does James have? Then you can answer the question, who has more baseball cards now, James or Andre? Then another question, how many more does that person have? Okay, that's a little bit of a tricky one. And number 5 is a challenge. And I always say the challenge is optional. So you decide if you want to try this one or not. Terry went to the school store. She gave the clerk a $1 bill. She got 30 cents back in change. What might she have bought? Find 3 possible answers and show your work. So find 3 different ways that she could have given $1 and gotten 30 cents back. What could she have bought? And this shows you how much things cost. So if you want to try this one and you have any pretend money or real money to kind of use, that might be helpful. But that is definitely a challenge. So do it if you can. And that is our math lesson for today. You guys are doing a great job. I will see you tomorrow, and we will do a different kind of pattern. All right, see you later.